My favorite part of the holiday season is decorating my tree, especially since that one year that my ornaments saved Christmas. Every year, 1 week after Thanksgiving, I start the ritual of tree decorating. First, I clear the area where I want to put the tree, on this special year, by the fireplace and TV. I brought the decorations from the attic in the hall and picked out a tree which was 7 feet tall. I put up the tree, then strung the lights, then hung all the ornaments on a beautiful night. I unpacked each one and laid them all out on the dining room table, the ground, and the couch. I have so many ornaments, heirlooms, and candles, and a tiny Christmas town on the fireplace mantle. As I got them all ready, I tried to decide which ornament to hang first, which one, and why. This year I chose a Santa in a little cowboy hat. Next I chose a reindeer and a mouse after that. One by one, I hung them all, being careful to make sure that none would fall. The Santas, the snowmen, the bears and the mice, the nutcracker soldiers and the penguins on ice. The special meaning ornaments, the ones marked by date, the ones I'd bought and the ones I had made. The Hollywood ornaments, the angels that sing, the guitars and drums, and bells that ring. The elegant balls, the elves and elf shoes, the rocking horses, reindeer, and the frozen friends too. After hours of hanging, I was more and more pleased, but I wondered why I hadn't seen the star for the tree. I stood by the tree as I began to panic. Where was the star? Still up in the attic? I ran to the attic, climbed the steps to the top, peeking my head in to see if I had forgotten a box. Nothing. Nada. The attic was empty. I stuck my head in deeper, but still I saw nothing. I ran back to the tree, searched the boxes and wrapping. The boxes were empty, no star. What was happening? The star for the top was the most important, the big finale for all of the ornaments. The star is the glow that makes Christmas so bright, the light on the ornaments that made them all shine. My old Christmas star simply was not around. The star of the show was nowhere to be found. As I hung the last ornaments and placed the last doodads, my tree was unfinished, and I began to feel sad. Exhausted and sleepy, I lay down in my bed. I will need a new star, I thought in my head. But I thought even more as I fell fast asleep. A new star will never shine bright for me. For when I was a kid, when I was a teen, when I was a man, and when I turned 53, when Christmas was white and when Christmas was green, my old Christmas star sat atop the tree. Now what happened next, I saw in a dream. By morning it was true, so it must have been real. I lay in my bed in a deep, deep sleep when all around the tree eyes started to peep. First a Santa, then a snowman, then a bear, then the mice. They all opened their eyes, my ornaments came to life. They started moving and talking and making a fuss. The Christmas star was missing, and the star is a must. They were yelling and screaming. What would they do when the little cowboy Santa gathered his crew? All of the Santas, big and small, the ones with short hats and the ones with tall, the Santa with the football, the Santa tanning in the sun, the Santas with sleighs and the Santas with none. They all huddled together and came up with a plan. Then they went high up on the tree, on the limbs they did stand. "Listen to us," the Santas did shout, and after enough shouting, the rest calmed down. The little cowboy Santa, he must have been the leader, says, The old star is lost, but we do not need her. What we Santas propose, what we Santas believe, we should select a new top for our Christmas tree. The big cowboy snowman, being a distant cousin, replied to the Santa, New top? That what you're saying? If we select a new ornament to sit atop the tree, the elegant ball bellowed, it should be a ball, perhaps even me. Wait a minute, fella, said the little cowboy Santa. It should be me. You can see that, can't you? It wasn't just the Santas and the elegant balls. All of the ornaments rose to the call. Little cowboy Santa said to them, Y'all, it's settled, and we'll each choose one from our stall. The Santa Claus ornaments and the snowmen, too, had gathered themselves into separate groups. Then so did the bears, and so did the mice, the nutcracker soldiers, and the penguins on ice. The special meaning ornaments, and the ones marked by date, the ornaments I bought, and the ornaments I had made, the Hollywood ornaments, the angels that sing, the guitars and drums and bells that ring, the elegant balls, the elves and elf shoes, the rocking horses, reindeer, and the frozen friends too. And with that, all the ornaments went off to decide the ornament they thought should carry the pride. They gathered in groups and came up with reasons why each should represent the holiday season. All of the ornaments did this except for just 3 that were hanging in the middle of the Christmas tree. These 3 were our heroes, Push Push, Douglas, and Carl, a green marshmallow monster and 2 peas in a pod. Push Push is chubby, made of marshmallow and green. Douglas and Carl are peas, 2 peas with no feet. Douglas and Carl live in a pea pod together. The pod carried by Push Push was light as a feather. Carl was so small, with a tiny little voice, no one heard him say, We don't need a choice. Once it had quieted down just a bit, Push Push and Douglas heard Carl throwing a fit. Listen to me, the star is not lost. I saw her in the attic. She fell out of the box. She bounced off the rafters and into the dark. Can't she be rescued? Said little Carl. If we save the star, Push Push said with glee, then we would save Christmas and the Christmas tree. Douglas and Carl were scared, and Push was too. They must try to save Christmas. This they all knew. So the 3 brave ornaments leapt from the branches to the fireplace mantel, taking their chances. They started their journey through the tiny Christmas town, then climbed down the stockings and onto the ground. They walked by the manger and past the TV and began the long walk down the hallway to see if the star they all loved was indeed home alone in the attic they lived in every month but one. While Push Push and Carl and Douglas were walking, back at the tree the ornaments were talking. The Santas had chosen, and so had the rest. Soon each began to sing why they were the best. Why not me atop the Christmas tree? Why not me atop the Christmas tree?
Why not me atop the Christmas tree? Why not me atop the Christmas tree? Why not me atop the Christmas tree?
Why not me atop the Christmas tree?
Why not me atop the Christmas tree?
Why not me atop the Christmas tree?
not me, atop the Christmas tree.
As each group of ornaments stated their case, our three little heroes were making their way. They arrived at the attic to find the door closed. How would they be able to pull down the rope? Douglas said from his pod, hanging from Push Push's back, "We must pull the rope to open the hatch." Now Push Push was sort of a heavy little fellow, the heaviest ornament, made of marshmallow. For this little fact, he was usually teased, but on this magic day, he was really quite pleased. So Push backed up and ran as fast as he could, jumped high in the air, but missed the rope by a foot. "Wait," Douglas and Carl said like a choir. "Push, you should bounce to get us up higher." So Push Push agreed and flopped on his belly that was big like Santa's, like a bowl full of jelly. With each bounce, they flew up in the air, and with a final big flop, boing, they were there. Push grabbed a hold of the attic rope tight, and using his weight, he pulled with all of his might. The attic door swung open, and the ladder came down, flopping, unfolding, hitting the ground. And using his belly with big bouncing flops, they bounced up the ladder until they reached the top. "The star's over there," Carl announced. Push chose to walk. He was all bounced out. In the corner of the attic, alone in the dark, shivering and scared, there sat the star. "Star, we found you," said Douglas and Carl.
But how can you see me when I don't shine anymore?
The old star continued with a frown on her face.
I've lost all my shine. Leave me in this place.
Push Push exclaimed,
You still shine enough. Although I agree, you are a bit rough.
Douglas explained that despite the star's age, she must come to the tree. "We have Christmas to save." As the star protested, feeling a bit tarnished, Push pulled her onto his back in a quickly made harness. And our three little heroes, with the old star in tow, headed back to the tree, where a problem did grow. The ornaments were fighting, unable to agree on a single best ornament for the top of the tree. The Santas chose a Santa, and the mice chose a mouse, as our heroes moved quickly back through the house. The snowmen picked Frosty as the one they believed should be the new ornament atop the tree. The penguins chose a penguin, and the bears chose a bear, and the reindeer chose Rudolph as the one to be theirs. Hollywood chose Elvis. Guitars chose an angel to sing. Drums drummed a beat, and bells began to ring. The frozen friends and rocking horses both chose themselves, and the elves with elf shoes chose the elf on the shelf. In luxurious fashion, the elegant balls decided on the largest ball of them all. But the Nutcracker soldiers, who marched to a beat, said,
The one that gets there first will be the top of the tree.
And with those words, ornaments began racing to the top of the tree with plans of placing their own special ornament to replace the old star, but our three traveling heroes were not very far. As they rounded the corner and saw all the ruckus,
Push said, Oh no, they're gonna ruin Christmas.
So they hurried to the tree and, just like the rest, raced to the top, knowing the star was the best. As elf shoes, ice skates, and Santa caps went flying, our three little heroes were climbing and trying. They climbed past the balls, who were moving quite slowly, for they had chosen a ball who was really quite portly. They climbed past the reindeer, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, and Donner and Blitzen, and Rudolph too, do you recall, the most famous reindeer of all? They passed the Nutcracker soldiers as they all marched in and knocked them all over like bowling pins. Our heroes passed penguins, bears, and the mice, brushed past the snowmen, all covered in ice. past the rocking horses and then past the elves, and as they go by, they put that elf on the shelf. They flew by the Grinch, up through angel wings, straight through a concert performed by the king. Up past the frozen friends, then past St. Nick, up near the top, where the branches were thick. Bracing the star near the top of it all, Push slipped on a Santa cap and started to fall. Push fell through the branches, Douglas and Carl on his back. They landed in the water with a cannonball splash. The water shot high up through the tree, getting all of the ornaments wet as could be. The ornaments were screaming and clamoring about. Then suddenly they stopped, and not one made a sound. The water that splashed had begun to clean, and parts of the star were shining again. All of the ornaments were so surprised when a bright light beamed down and shined in their eyes. So every last ornament stopped in their tracks, no more pushing or shoving or climbing on backs. The Santas, the snowmen, the bears and the mice, the nutcracker soldiers and the penguins on ice, the special meaning ornaments, the ones marked by date, the ones I'd bought and the ones I'd made, the Hollywood ornaments, the angels that sing, the guitars and drums and bells that ring, the elegant balls, the elves and elf shoes, the rocking horses, reindeer, and the frozen friends too. They all stared up, every ornament frozen, at the top of the tree where the star, bright and golden, beamed with a light so bright from above it filled all the ornaments with the warm glow of love. The old star was shining brighter than before, casting beams of light from the treetop to the floor. There was light on the tree and the ornaments' faces. There was light shining bright in all the dark places. The old star was glowing, bright and alert. She wasn't too old, she was just covered in dirt. Ornaments climbed to the top, dripping and wet, and this next part I will never forget. They cleaned that old star, wiped off all of the dirt, then they buffed and polished to finish the work. Then every ornament went back to their places, glowing from the light casting down on their faces. The Santas, the snowmen, the bears and the mice, the nutcracker soldiers and the penguins on ice, the special meaning ornaments, the ones marked by date, the ones I'd bought and the ones I'd made, the Hollywood ornaments, the angels that sing, the guitars and drums and bells that ring, the elegant balls, the elves and elf shoes, the rocking horses, reindeer, and the frozen friends too. Every single ornament, near and far, shined once again from the light of the star. Old Star smiled down on the ornaments and waved and proudly announced, "Christmas is saved!" Then Star spoke boldly to the ornaments below. "Listen, dear friends, I want you all to know. You may see yourself fitting into a group and see others are different, much different than you. But when you only see one way to belong, you can't hear you're all singing the same beautiful song. You're not just Santas, snowmen, bears, and mice, nutcracker soldiers, and penguins on ice, special meaning ornaments and ones marked by date, nor just ornaments bought, nor ornaments made, not just Hollywood ornaments, nor angels that sing, not just guitars and drums and bells that ring, not just elegant balls, elves and elf shoes, nor rocking horses, reindeer, nor frozen friends too. You are all also ornaments under the same tree, making Christmas beautiful for all to see." The ornaments could see how they had been wrong. They have many groups to which they belong. Little Cowboy Santa and his cousins shook hands. So did the bears with no shorts and the mice with no pants. The nutcracker soldiers skated on ice, and the penguins all marched back and forth in a line. The rocking horses, dressed in elf shoes, along with the elves, rocked a sweet little tune. The drums and guitars joined in the jam, and Elvis and angels sang with the band. The elegant balls were glowing like Rudolph's nose, and the reindeer paraded in elegant robes. Dancing with joy, every ornament exclaimed, "We may be different, but we're also the same." So Push Push hopped down and plugged in the lights, and with the star back in place, the tree was so bright. The old star looked down on this holiday season, knowing the Ornaments had all found a reason to love each other with all of their hearts, different and the same, glowing under the star. The Santas, the snowmen, the bears and the mice, the nutcracker soldiers and the penguins on ice, the special meaning ornaments, the ones marked by date, the ones I bought and the ones I'd made, the Hollywood ornaments, the angels that sing, the guitars and drums and bells that ring, the elegant balls, the elves and elf shoes, the rocking horses, reindeer, and the frozen friends too, made the dream I was dreaming and the wish I was wishing come true that year that the star went missing. And thanks to Douglas and Carl and our friend Push Push, that's what happened the year my ornaments saved Christmas. The end.